Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stamping Up demonstrator, based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. Tonight, I have two projects featuring, just reach over here, featuring the Nature Walk Sweet Collection. Now, tonight I decided to add a little bit to my live, and I've got so much to share with you. I've actually even added a list. Um, but the first thing I wanted to do is just welcome you, whether you're watching on replay or watching it live. Just go back up and see comments. If you are watching, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from or what you're doing, whether you're watching the tennis at the same time, because I know I can't believe I'm doing this at the same time as the tennis is on. Hey-ho. Now, I'll put you down to my desk. And so this is the sweet collection that I'm using. It's in the new Mini Catalogue. And as you can see, it is full of beautiful colours, textures. It's a stamp set. It's got dies. It's got some designer series paper. It's got some specialty natural hues, textured specialty paper, which I'm not using tonight. It also has these gorgeous faux bronze pentagons. Let's say that quickly. But the cards that you can make with it are fabulous. And what I love about it is truly, it's one of those ones where, one of those sets, one of those suites where design can be important, but you can do whatever you like with it. So these are my two cards that I'm making. Now, the first one, as you can see, I've gone for colour and I've gone for texture. In fact, both of them I've gone for texture. Completely different cards, which just shows you how versatile this suite actually is. Now, this one I use some of the stamps. I use some of the designer series paper. This one I use the die cut and also the stamps. So let's get started. Now, one of the things I thought I'd share with you, because as I go through this, you'll see what I do is I've changed my design up because it wasn't working for me. And I'll show you what I mean. This was the first card. Don't worry about that bit down there. This was the first card. Oh, you can't see. Well, wait a minute. This is the first card, and I did this shaded spruce leaf pattern, and it just looked terrible. It didn't, whilst it matched in colour, kind of matched in a lot of ways, it just ruined the whole design. So tonight I'm going to be talking through with you about design. Now, the first thing I've got to do is, after all of that, I haven't even cut out the first layer. It's unusual for me. I've got everything else cut out. I've made this a fairly quick project tonight. So I am cutting this layer, my coloured layer, but I'm going to do a full size, so bigger than I actually require. And I trim it down, and you'll understand why I trim it down, and you'll actually probably see why design actually matters. So let's get going. Hi, Glenda. Okay, so I'm going to be using my glass mat. Now, you haven't seen me do colouring or backgrounds or texture for so long. It's probably about seven months, because I've been focusing on designer series paper, fancy folds, and that's because those papers that I was using were absolutely stunning. But let's just say you don't have them. So let's make a design that you can make. So I'm going to be using my blending brushes tonight. So I'm using 3 colours. Where's my ink pads? Let's pull it out. I'm actually using 4 colours, but for the background, I'm using Peach Pie, Summer Splash, and Shy Shamrock. Love these colours together. They're bright. They make you feel happy. They make you feel, they're not called Summer Splash for no reason. They just make you feel good. And it's that colour palette that works like that. So one of the first things I'm going to be talking about is colour, because colour sets the mood straight away. It sets our emotions. And I'm just, whilst I talk to you, let's get started. Oh, now I have re-inked all my ink pads, wholly and solely, because I need a bit of colour. I've already got something on my hand. Ink, of course I do. So let's get started. Now the glass mat makes this really easy, but if you've got a Stamparatus or anything else like that, you can use that. So I'm going to go round the edges. I didn't mean to go round the edges like that. Having one of those days, I think. Okay, so why the glass mat or a smooth surface is good is I can take it off here, which then gives me a really nice smooth start. Now all I'm doing is, and I know it's really hard to see here, and because I'm using the blending brush, my camera's shaking, so sorry about that. Anyhow, whoop, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to roll off first. All right, so put it over here, spread it out till you get it nice and smooth, and then bring it on. Now I go, for something like this, I would just divide my paper into thirds and just go a little more than over the third. So you can see I'm nearly up to the half with the peach pie. Not spending a lot of time on this. I'm not pressing hard. That's secret number 1, is just go across. I know. So there's one. Now the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to put these, put a lid back on these so I don't have a disaster. Hi Myrtle, how are you? I know. The next one I'm going to use, so I'm going from light to dark. And these are all in colours from 2024, 2026. So they will be disappearing this year in May. Now, I've got all that ink over my glass mat, so I'm just using the cleaning cloth that comes with it to clean that off. Now, I don't want any moisture on there at all, so I just grab my rag. Now, chamois doesn't work as well. I tried my chamois and it just leaves a bit more water on it. So this is Summer Splash. So I spread this around. As you can see, I don't know whether you can, but as you put it on the glass, it spreads out and it smooths out. Now, I make sure that there's some overlap of these colours. So overlap going up and also going down. So this will be covering a little bit of that peach pie. Doesn't peach pie sound nice? Sounds delicious at the moment. It might be because I haven't had tea yet. Now, the secret to this is not to press too hard. Just go nice and soft. Keep it in circles. Make sure you cover it all. And you'll see what I always end up doing is I pick up the ink and then I roll it on. Now, you know what I'm like. You know, I say I don't spend hours doing anything. Now, so I'm grabbing the Shy Shamrock. That's 3 ink colours that I'm using. And normally our ink colours, each set of them, work pretty well together. There's been the odd exception, but these do work well together, and I love them. Love them because they're bright. They make me feel happy, especially in summer. So here we go. Now this is kind of layer 1 of my card. So I'm going to add quite a few layers, but they're all going to be subtle. And that's what makes interest. Now, I always remember reading somewhere about what art is, a definition of art. And the definition of art went something, to be honest, I've never found it again, but the definition of art is every time you look at something, you see something different. And I love to think that our cards are a little like that. Now, I'm just bringing that colour down, just to blend it down the bottom a little bit. And then I'm going to blend with the peach pie up a little bit. Just pretty easy. As I said, same as when I colour with blends. You don't have to spend hours and hours on it. You can if you want to, but I'm a quick and easy. So this is how my cardstock finishes for the moment. Now I want to add, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see this. Let's see if I can get, I've actually got some water spots. Now there's multiple ways you can put water spots on here. The water actually takes the colour off, so it adds a little bit more texture. Now, what I'm going to do this a little different than what I did the original. So I'm just spraying a little bit of water on there. I'm getting an aqua painter, one of my old ones, soaking up a bit of water just in the nib here. And I'm going to splish this on. Wait a minute. Let's close that. Keep my ink pads alive. I know. So I'm pick up some water, just using the lid. I'm just going to splish it on. Now the lid, I don't know, it makes it so much easier, to be honest. I'm spreading it over. I'll see if you can see it. Let me know if you can actually see this. Welcome, Joanne, as well. Now you don't have to put a lot on. I know it looks like I am. I'm trying to soak up some water here. But you want enough that it actually adds a little bit more texture or layering. I want a little bit more there. I'm just going to spray a bit more on. Now I could have used my little water spritz as well. Now I don't want to get too carried away, to be honest, because I don't want to have to use a heat gun to dry this. I'm going to put this off here. Just grab my cleaning cloth. Does such a good job. Anyway, so now this is where I'm at. All right, so it looks, I'm hoping you can see, I'm pretty sure you can, where the water droplets have just changed the colour a little bit. Now, grab my rag just to make sure there's no stray water on here. And I'm going to grab my trimmer. And I'm just going to do what I did on the last one first, is I only wanted a very small border. I just wanted a little tiny bit of white showing. So I cut it back. I cut this ugly, do I say that ugly? Not as pretty edge there. That's just where the blending brushes hit the side. So this is what I did on the first time. So I only wanted a little bit taken off. And you need a sharp blade to take off little bits like this. Now on this one, I probably want to take a little bit off the top. So I'm just cutting it down to 5 3/8. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let's grab my white and you'll see where design becomes really important. So I put it on here. Now it's exactly the same piece of colouring, etc. Which one looks better? The one with the big border or the one with the little tiny border? Now, for me, and it's always a matter of taste, this one with all that white space looks so much better. So I cut it down a second time. Okay, so this time I cut it down to 5 inches long. Oh, I want to take it off the top. Don't want to lose any of that nice peach pie. It's just another decision that I made. And then I'm going to cut it at 3 5/8 wide. Let's see. I'm going to keep these bits because I might use them on the inside of the card. Rightio. So where's my card? So here. Oh, I did have a piece cut. See who doubted me. Which do you like? Did you like that first one or do you like it now that I've got that big border? It makes a huge difference. A really big difference, and surprisingly so. Now, what I'm going to do, my next step is I'm going to stamp on it. Now, I'm going to go back. Remember, I thought that the shaded spruce would look a lot better, but it doesn't. So I reached for my favorite neutral color, which is grey granite. And it looks really good. It's subtle enough, it's neutral enough. And if you're not using grey granite as one of your neutral colours, I think I even like it better than crumb cake now. Where is my grey granite? Here's my grey granite. Now, so you can see what white space actually does. Who would have guessed it makes such a big difference? I've inked that up with grey granite. Let's work out where we're going to put this. I'm going to put it at a different angle than this one because I'm going to shift, rather than putting this in the center, let's shift it over the side and see if that makes a bit of a difference. So I want this leaf to go off the edge of the page because you don't want this leaf pattern to be floating. So let's put this down. I don't. How nice is that? Now it's turned out a lot lighter. I obviously needed to re-ink it a little bit, but that's okay. Still will work. And from the dies, let's find those dies. Those gorgeous dies. So the stamp set and die, or the die bundle, is called Nature's Symphony, not sympathy. Symphony. So this is the stamp set. So I've used this one. I'm going to use that one later. I will use this one later, and you make me smile. All right, this is the dies. So I'm going to show you this die, which I've already die cut out because tonight is not about showing you how to die cut. It's actually showing you about design. Now, as always, there's a different way of doing it. Now I want to pop this up. I want it to go up the page because this is another layer. So far I have my cardstock. Well, I have my card base. I have my first card layer. I have my colours. I have this stamp set. I have those water spots. So it's a little bit happening, but you can see it all and you can appreciate it all. Now, before I stick that down, I'm going to use a 1 3/4 inch punch. Now, we've got dies which would look really good as well. I'm just trying to keep this a little easier. So I want You Make Me Smile, because that's what this layout actually does. And again, I'm sticking to that neutral colour. I felt it was a little nicer. Now, if you think I didn't try bright colours, yes, of course I did. Tried them on a scrap piece of paper and I went, they're not for this card. So let's stamp this. You Make Me Smile. So already my sentiment adds a little bit of emotion. This is a punch that I've actually dropped, unfortunately. Oh, that cut nicely. I was a little worried. Sometimes it's not as good as that. So this is my little sentiment. So this time, remember, I'm putting it a little further over here. So I want to hide the top of this, and I want to hide the bottom of here. So I'm doing a little bit of a balance. And you'll see, you'll be able to tell me whether you like it in the middle or like it off to the side. Now, I'm gonna pop this up. Leave plenty of space to slide this under. We're going to do this. No. I've just got 3 here. So now what those layers have done, all these layers that I've added, I'm just going to put this, I can actually add this here. So I get that whole palette. I can see what I'm actually putting together and how it comes together. Is it balanced? Does it work? Is it too cluttered? So let's put this down first and we'll see. I'll peel these off. They're peeled off. And we're going to have this. Put that a little further over than I wanted to. Anyway, we'll have to make do. And I've got to hide this again. And I've got all these dimensionals. Couldn't take the backing off because otherwise it would have stuck somewhere I didn't want it to stick. And you can see I added a bit more colour to this. So every one of them always turns out a little different. And I have to say, when I'm doing it live, they always turn out very different because I'm always trying to keep to a timetable. There I. Off to the side. Ah, see, that's what I thought. But I'd already stamped that one and put it in the middle, so I had no choice. But I thought off the side would work a little better. Now, little hooers, I think that's all of them. I've just got this little one here. I don't clean them up. Now, I want to slide this under, not by very far. Don't want it to stick yet, because you know what happens if it sticks. I won't be able to shift it. Now, I put this through the die cutting machine twice, not because it didn't cut, but I missed cutting a little bit, so I had to put it through. So I've got a little fragile. So completely different. I might just move that one around. Right. So completely different than the first one, but I'm going to add. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, 7. I think. Don't think I added the stamp. 7 layers. So let's add some little embellishments. Now these are botanical textures, and I just liked this off-white color here. I've got some little ones sitting here. So let's see where we're going to put them. So we're going to put a couple here. Normally I'd put something around there, but let's just see. This is what I mean about balance. Sometimes I've got a lot over here, so let's just add a little bit here. And I'm using bigger ones only because I run out of small ones. Rightio. So there's the card. Now, completely different than the first. Well, is it completely different? It's slightly different. Hi, Gail. How are you? But you can see what layering colour can actually bring to it. And you can see the difference that that white space actually made. So on the inside, using grey granite again, just going to use the small stamp of this, just to put a little, won't have a lot of colour. Now I will, oh, got this stuck somehow under there. I will add a sentiment once I know whether I'm going to use it for a birthday or a congratulations or whatever. Because you make me smile is such a generic sentiment. It's so easy to use. So what do you think of this card? I mean, it's plain. It's got a lot of layers. It's got a little bit of interest. It doesn't have a lot of clutter, I don't think. It has a lot of depth. It actually draws you. Now, I also think it has a focal point. Now, for me, I know you make me smile because there's a few things that drag you down there, and that's why putting it to off center actually works quite well. And then just on the inside, it's really, really plain. So I would make an envelope that the color matches that. Now, let me show you another version using the same suite. I'm just tidying up because I'm trying very hard not to make a mess like I always do. Now, so some of the hints for there were the white space, the neutral colours. I used design, colour, layers, texture, and that white space, which just gave that card a bit more calm, a bit more peace. And I did things intentionally. I didn't just go, let's just shove it all on. Now I'll show you the next card. Whoops, where is the next card? Here's the next card. Now, some of you may have seen this design because I've used this design before. Not the same products, but a similar design. And I love this design because what it does is, I don't know, it just makes it pop, makes this center, which is obviously the focal, really, really look good. Now, this is one of those things. Now, I added, and I know it's pretty hard to see, but this I actually embossed. Let's see whether we like the embossing on the next card. So I've got my card base, which both of these are standard card bases. So you know I make them 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. If you're watching from the States, you would be 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And you just adjust your layers. On this one, it wouldn't even matter. Now I've done the die cutting out, and I've used the gorgeous paper, designer series paper. I'm trying not to drop everything on the ground, which is called, what is it called? Nature Walks. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Nature Walks. So this is the paper. You can see the colours are bright. What is it called? Nature Walk. So you can see it's two-sided. I love these. They all go together. Another designer series paper that has a lot of depth, a lot of layers. This is the one that I'll be using. I'll just show you the other side to it. So it's kind of got a geometric design on the other side. Now, if you're into scrapbooking, it also has on an option. You don't need that. If it doesn't come with the DSP, it's a separate purchase. You can see mine's plastic. It's still in plastic, and this is Exploring Nature sticker sheet. So if you're a scrapbooker, how great is this to go with that paper? So these are all stickers. So that's available as well. Now let's bring back my card. So this is my card. So I'm going to use, wait a minute, I'm just going to reinforce that fold. Then let's assemble. Maybe I call it the window. And I'll stick it down with some, use that technical term, stick it down. Now, these cards aren't difficult. I've gone for colours. So I've used the designer series paper as the first layer. Second layer is Secret C. Now, what I am using, which I'm hoping I can find, is the Everyday Arches dies. But if you didn't have these and you had circles or you had rectangles or squares or some of those other more odd shapes that Stampin' Up do dies in, you could easily use that and it would work exactly the same. But just turn it look a little different. Now I'm going to pop this up. Did you know we talk about layers? If I could find some of my, oh, here they are. This is what happens when you try and do lives. Now, while I put these on, I've actually put together a PDF outlining the design principles that, and it's a little checklist so that if you're making a card before you put it together, you have a look at what you're intending to do, and then you've got a little checklist that you can check it off against. And if you'd like a copy of that PDF, just leave a comment either on YouTube or on Facebook and say, I would love the PDF, and I'll just send it to you. I'll obviously need, I'll need your, somewhere how to send it to you. Rightio, so there's my card. Now I put it on here. Do you notice the difference? There's a couple of things different. I haven't got anything on that white space. Now, sometimes you can just have too much white space, and for me, that's too much white space. So I'm going to one of the background stamps in that stamp set. I'll bring it back so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm using this one here. This is a great background stamp and you could use it on so many cards. I'm using my little cloud cover spot because, as you know, we don't have a cloud cover ink pad, but we can make our own spots. Now, what I've done on this is I'm going to bring back my, I don't know where it is. It's going to bring back my, let's put it on here. So now it gets a bit shiny. Where's that? Where's this gone to? So all I do is put it, use generational stamping to get different colors. So generational stamping means I don't re-ink it each time. I will also turn it around so it looks a little different. I'm not having a line anywhere. I can overstamp if I wish. So there's no skill to this. You kind of just do it. You can't go wrong. You say, yes, you can, Anne. No, you can't. You really can't. Because there's no right or wrong to this. So it doesn't have to be even. And it just adds a little bit more interest to this card. I know. And if you've got any great holes, you can always go back and restamp it. But I think you'll find that the more shabby it is, the more distressed it is, the better it actually looks. I know. Now, let's see the difference of how that looks. And I'll show you the difference. So this is my panel. Let's turn this over. That's how it was looking before. Now look what happens now I've stamped. A little bit of texture, a little bit of colour, and taken away a bit of that white space. Oops, let's stick this down. But you can see I've used this piece of paper. I tried to use it for something else. Now, I'm just placing it in the centre, but you could change that up a little bit. So can you tell the difference? Just adding that little bit of colour to the background. So now I'm not going to, I actually die cut one of these, but I didn't need all of it. I was going to put that there, and this is about making intentional decisions. That was just overpowering, too much. Just wanted a little bit. So let's, where's my scissors? Exactly where they should be. Look at this one with the B in. Someone made that for me. So just going to cut. Oh, I might take that piece. Who knows? That's what I mean. So we can, oh, that's too much. So let's come back to this piece that I was going to. I know. So this just adds that little bit of interest. Now, this one goes to, this one goes this way. That one went that way. So I would actually place this on the other side. So it's going to the center. It's pointing to that focal point that we were talking about. So it's just going to sit there. Now I'm going to pop it up this time, because then you'll see the difference when you pop things up. Where's some little mini glue, mini dimensionals. It's not difficult. I don't. So before I take these off, I'll just have a bit of a play. I'm not going to stick it down yet, because I want to put the sentiment across. I'm going to be using the same sentiment, and I'm going to be using Secret C. So this time I've gone, as you can see, is that a pun? Let's just move that out of the way. So I'm using To a Fabulous Friend, which is also from different stamp set. Where has it gone? It's from the Fabulous Sayings, which is the product of the month, which I had out here. Very hard to keep your list when you're piling things up. I can't find it at the moment. But anyway, it's from Fabulous Sayings. So product of the month means if you place an order for $125, you can get this gorgeous stamp set. Oh, here it is. Way over here. This amazing stamp set. So it's got happy birthday, you're on my mind. Thank you, sending love, hello, you can do anything. So much hooray to a fabulous friend, which is what I'm using just because there are simply no words for this. This is a great stamp set, and to get it for $9 is a pretty good bargain. So let's go. Now I'm going to show you another little trick. So white on white is hard to pick where the piece, my sentiment strip actually is. So let's try and find, I'm just going to put that out of the way. Let's just use this, and you can see now how much easier it is to actually see my sentiment strips. Always hard to line this up because I can't see over the top, but let's try that. I know, that turned out pretty well. Put that away. There's another little trick for you. Could flag the ends, but I wanted to keep it fairly simple. Let's close some of this up before I have a problem with it. So, all right, got stuck down. So let's have a little play. What I do know is I don't want any of the designer series paper peeking through. So I'll put it right on the edge. I'm going to add some dimensionals to either end. Right, so it's going to look like that. Let's see how this looks. I've got to add some. Now, I've left plenty of room. I can slide that under. So let's put this on because I know where I'm putting this. I mean, these cards are pretty quick, but they're a little different. Whoops. Having trouble with this. It's trying to escape me. I want it nicely in the center, even on either side. Oh, yeah. Now, didn't mean to put that dimensional in the center. That's okay. A blind person would be happy to see that. Is that what you say? Now let's take these backings off and let's see what I'm going to do with it. Now Joanne says I should. I don't know what she said. Angle the leaf. So let's have a go because I quite like angling the leaf. Now I'm going to add some bit of bling, actual bling. Pretty bling at that. So I used the gold before, but to be honest, let's see what different colors can be. Let's see if I got some of these little, I don't want bright green. I think this little blue kind of is quite nice. So I'm just going to, now I'm trying to use up all my embellishments. So I know. So just, do I want any more? Nope. You know that story. It's just as important to leave things off as it is to add them. And I think that was one of those moments where anything more would have just made it too cluttered, too busy, and missed all the important bits of the card. Now, that's traditional sparkling sequins, and I think they're still on the last chance sale. So they are fabulous. Now, let's put something on the inside. On this one, I just put, where's that big floral stamp set again? I'm going to put it in here somewhere on my desk. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to ink it up Secret C. You can, you probably, as I've spoken out my process as I've gone, you've understood that the card making is intentional. It's not just throwing stuff layers on. It's just about adding a little bit here, a little bit there, and slowly working it through. Anyway, so where are my cards? Here they are over here. Right, let's get rid of this. And whilst I just arrange these, I don't. So which one do you like? The first one that I did with all that blending and beautiful bright colours, or a little more subtle, still got lots of colour, the one using the designer series paper. So vote 1 or vote 2. Now, a couple other things. Don't forget to leave a comment if you would like a copy of the PDF, which talks about the principles of design. Also, I've got mystery boxes available, which I've put together. So all the details are on my Facebook page. Bonus days for every $90 that you order that you place, you get a $9 coupon back to spend in February. And would you like to know something? I'm saying this really softly because this is going to be a surprise. Stamping Up is bringing us a stamp positioner back. Yay! So it's not going to be the same as the one that we used to have, the Stamparatus, but I've had a look at it and it looks amazing. And I'm really interested in what we can actually do with it. So I've got one on order. I'll just bring these down so that you can see. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Everyone always loves the mystery boxes, but they've been particularly loved this year. Now, leave a comment also. I've spoken about design, color, layers, textures, white space. Which one do you have trouble using? Or, as I always say, do you have trouble leaving something off your card? Or are you like me? You want to put more and more and more because maybe it'll even get better being more and more and more. Hey, what else do I have? We've heard all the gossip. Well, gossip isn't the right word, but a stamp positioner. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So I'm so happy with that. And I'll talk more about that over the next week or so. Ideo. So everybody's going both cards. Hi, Jeanette. I don't think. Yeah, everyone's going both cards. Also, leave a comment which one you struggle with most: the design, color, layers, texture, or white space. I think we just have each stamper or crafter has a different way of doing stuff and different ideas of what works for them. These same ideas work if you're scrapbooking, just on a bigger scale. Rightio, that's it for tonight. I will see you next week. I'd like to see it first before I get one. That's Glenda. Stand position is excellent for people with arthritis. Actually, the thing that I like, and because I have so much trouble with my wrists, is on this one, basically, there's a 2-set position, so you can you can align your stamp where you want it, and there's a lot of ideas for how to do that. And then you put it on the stamp, your stamp with your plate on top of the stamp positioner, and it sits there. It doesn't touch the paper yet. Then when you're happy with it, you actually press it down, which for me, when I'm having trouble lining things up, because I'm working over here and my camera's above and I can't see anything, this is going to be a lot easier for me. And also with my wrist. Sometimes it's hard to hold a stamp set, um, a, st- a block, and also stamp where I want it to be. So I'm excited. Bye for now. See you soon. Have a great week. Hope you get lots of crafting done.